Good morning, everybody. Well, today I'm out here and I'm working on a project. I am going to be moving a tree and planting a new tree that we got. And I'm really excited because I'm happy to be working on plants again. I love gardening. So this is my new tree. Actually got it for my birthday from Esperanza. It is a fiddle fig, and it grows into, in the wild, it can grow into a big, huge tree, like a 50, 60 foot tree, 40, 50 foot in diameter. Usually, and that's in the jungle, in a perfect jungle environment. Here in Baja Sur, in this kind of environment, I expect it to grow into a 20 to 25 foot tall tree with about a 20 foot diameter. Still a nice tree with a lot of shade. And this tree can take the full sun. It can be out in the sun all day long, which is what we need for this location, especially a big tree like this, because there's going to be nothing to shade it. And so I am going to get it planted, and I'll show you where. We're Douglas and Esperanza, and we decided to leave our lives in the U.S. and move to magical Loreto, Mexico, where we built our boutique resort, Pufferfish Villas, from the ground up, and work running it and saving to expand in the future. Please come with us to follow our journey and live before you die. All right, I am down kind of at the corner of our upper lot. So to give you an idea where I am, our Oasis, or Oasis in Espanol, is up there. And I am down here in this corner. Now, when we get our house built, we will have a U-shaped house, and the master bedroom wing of the house is actually going to come right out here. And the pool is going to be right in the middle there. Actually, right about in here and through the middle of where this trailer is parked will be the pool. And for privacy and a little bit of shade in the morning at the pool, we originally planted this ficus tree here. This ficus tree will get at least as big as the fiddle fig will. Similar sized tree when it's fully grown, and it grows really fast. The problem is it drops a lot of leaves and will be quite a bit of maintenance near the pool. It also has a problem that ficus trees tend to like to get into water pipes, any pipes underground. And we figured this was far enough away from everything, but it still is going to be not that far from the pool, about 8-10 feet from the pool. It's a little too close to the pool for comfort. I was going to try to put in some measures to make sure the roots didn't get over there into the pool piping, but I figured let's not risk it. Esperanza thought it was a good idea to move it also. So I'm going to move this down to the parking lot in Pufferfish Villas where there's no pipes close by, and we are going to plant the fiddle fig right here to replace this and provide some shade and also some privacy, because when we had the pool, this is going to be right in the pool, and you can see they've got this house here, these houses, and they're eventually going to build houses all the way down here. And so without some stuff here to block it, all these houses, the rooftop decks and the second stories, will be looking right into our pool. And so we're thinking now for privacy later. All right, I'm gonna go down and show you where we're gonna put it and start working on the hole, and then we'll come back up here and see about getting this thing out. Okay, I'm down here in the parking lot right by the driveway gate here, and the pool is right over there. The villas are right over here, and the hammocks are right here, and we want to try to provide some shade for the hammocks, especially in the afternoon when most people are going to be using them. And so we are going to use this ficus tree here to create some shade. This is a long ways away from any real water pipes. We're at least 25 to 30 feet away from the pool. We are probably 50, 75 feet away from any actually water pipes. And we kind of have a water dam in that we have these row of areca palms here that we water, and they always are being watered and damp. And the tree we are going to plant right in here, and that will provide shade to the hammocks in the afternoon, because the sun basically in the summer comes up and then goes diagonal across here like this. So in the afternoon, this tree will be directly shading the hammock area, which is exactly what we want. Also, it'll give a little bit of shade for the parking lot if a person wants to park the car here. So I'm going to get started here. I am going to clear all this gravel out of the way and start digging a hole. Now, I always like to dig the hole that is going into first. There's Sugar over here watching me, and I hear Leo right over there. He'll probably be over in a minute. Anyways, I always like digging the hole ahead of time so that I can have the plant out of the ground as short as possible, especially when transplanting something like this big tree. All right, clear this gravel out, and then we will get started on digging the hole. I got a good starter hole dug here. Give you an idea how big this hole is. There's my shoe. Now that hole might have to get a little bigger, deeper, wider, but don't know until I get the tree down here. But at least this is a good start, and it won't take me long to make it a little bigger if I need to. Whew. It is hot to be digging. All right, I'm gonna go up to the other tree. I'll show you that. And I might see about trying to get that out. Might need to go in and cool down for a few minutes because super hot and humid. And whew, that was a lot of work digging that hole. All right, I got this hole started. Going to try to take that much dirt with the tree. I will just continue digging this hole straight down until I can get probably about 2 feet down, foot and a half, 2 feet down, and then I'll start curving under it with the big shovel and try to cut out as much as I can from that behind, and then I should be able to rock it out of the hole with a big thing of dirt on it. Let's hope it works. Starting to get a little sick to my stomach, which means I'm getting too overheated. Digging this thing, which is a lot of hard work, and it's like way over 90 out here, so Maybe got about 2/3 of the way done. So go in, cool down, and continue this a little later. I got it out of there. Cooled down a little bit, came back out here, finished this up. So I got a pretty decent root ball on there, but I need to get this thing back in the ground over there because these roots are exposed to the sun too much, they'll die quick. So going to get the forerunner over here. We're going to pull this up and we're going to put it on. Man, I got so much sweat going down in my mouth. I'm going to try to pull it up onto a sheet of plywood and then drag it down there on a sheet of plywood. See if it works. Had great success with this method in the past. All right, to get started, I'm going to get a strap out to the tree from the forerunner. I'm going to get straps under here so I can strap the tree to the sheet of plywood once I get it on there. All right, we got this hooked up. Let's see how this works. Okay, that worked fantastic. I'm down here about as close as I'm gonna get to this hole, and the tree did great. I don't think any branches broke off or anything on it. So now I'm gonna get it unstrapped, roll it over into the hole here, and then we'll get it installed, and then we can go up and plant the other one. Okay, I got this tree moved with almost no breakage of any branches or anything. A lot of the roots, a lot of dirt kept on the dirt ball. It's only out of the ground about half an hour to an hour. So I think it's gonna have great chance of doing great. Unlike this dead coconut palm here, which we did all the wrong ways. Cut off all the roots off, no dirt ball, out of the ground for a long time. I'm getting sick again. I need to go back in and cool down before I finish this up. Good morning, everybody. Well, I wanted to show you how this tree ended up. And you can see it's down here. It's looking good. And it's going to work perfect to get up in this area here. It's going to grow up in here, provide a lot of midday and afternoon shade to our hammock area, which is good news. Now, I went and I built a big, you can kind of see the outline of it, a tree well, and that will hold a bunch of water so that when we irrigate, we don't waste water. Water will go straight into the well around the tree and then soak in right there where the roots can get to it. So one other thing you might be wondering is this tree is going to grow up. It's going to have a big canopy, and I've got all these other areca palms here. This isn't going to be a problem as long as we prune everything correctly. So this tree will grow up, and I will eventually prune all these lower branches off. So there probably won't be any branches, below about, like 5-6 feet level. And then the branches will spread out and it'll have a big canopy, but the bottom will be open. these areca palms are considered to be kind of a hedging material. So as they get older and bigger, you can see I've got some big ones here that are, you know, growing into a actual big palm tree. And these will eventually get, you know, they can get even as big as this coconut palm here eventually after quite a while. But they also continually send off new shoots from the bottom. You can see here's a new little one right here. So they continually do that. So they're considered a good hedging material because you can either grow them up and just cut off all the little suckers that come up all the time, and then just end up with, you know, 2 or 3 big skinny palm trees out of it. Or you can just let them keep throwing up suckers, and then you always have a thick kind of hedging material down at the bottom, even when you get bigger ones up on the top. And that's what we're going to use this as a hedge. And then here where this tree is, we'll just kind of trim everything so that the tree can fill in. And these areca palms right around the tree will probably get trimmed down a little bit. I'll probably let a few big ones go up tall, and then keep the rest of them just trimmed down below the tree to create a hedge, but not interfere with the tree. Good morning, Miss Sugar. How are you today? Oh my gosh, you got a lot of flies on you. I'm so sorry. So I'm gonna walk up here and we're going to get this fiddle fig planted. I also wanted to show you how green the desert is. This rainy season has been a very good one here in Loretto. Before this rainy season started in June, we had not had any measurable rain in at least 2 years. So nothing. And from June until now, which is mid-September, we have gotten quite a few storms and quite a bit of water. I would say you add it all up right here, we have probably gotten 6 to 8 inches, maybe even 10 inches of water over this entire rainy season. And I think the average here is about 6 inches a year. So we're probably way over, and we still got more coming. It rained last night. You can see the ground's all wet. All the gravel is wet. So we had more storms come through, little rainstorms, thunderstorms, and rain last night. And you can see that the desert goes crazy when the rain starts. Now this, from 2 years of no rain, this had really died off. If you look back to my videos, like back at the beginning of the year, almost all these plants have had almost no leaves on them. They just look like dead sticks. The ones right up by the fence had a little bit because they get irrigation from my plants I have planted here. But these things have literally been growing so fast that they grow. I mean, I would guess this probably puts on an inch a day. I'm not kidding you. An inch a day of growth onto these plants. They have just exploded. And if you look all through here, all that stuff has exploded in growth from just the rains that we've had so far. All back in there. And the entire desert here in Loretto, if you look at the mountains are starting to get green because everything is growing throughout the desert. And this is, you know, kind of the cycles in the desert. Desert plants are good at just waiting for the water. If they have to wait years and years and years, they'll wait. And then when the water comes, they take advantage of it. They go crazy. They're trying to get leaves out and get buds out and get seeds out so they can propagate. And you look, all these have already got little tiny flowers here. So these things say, know that it's their time to, it's their time. They don't have a lot of time to get their seeds out, get them into the ground so that they can start to grow with this wet, moist soil. So it's kind of cool the way the desert works. And just explodes and turns green. And I'm expecting I'm expecting wildflowers. We're not going to see wildflowers over here because Leo and Sugar have been chomping all the little green stuff that goes off the ground. But if you look over on our property where Leo and Sugar aren't here, we've got lots of green stuff. I mean, green stuff over there under the trailer, green stuff growing on the ground all along here. And some of these are going to be wildflowers. I mean, here's some little wildflowers. Look at that. That's pretty. These are little, they got a little bit of like pinkish purple in them. And I'm just excited to see what's going to grow, what kind of wildflowers are going to come up. And so we got a bunch of those little pinkish purple flowers here. You can see all green over there. That was just dirt and sand a couple of weeks ago. People think the desert is just always dirt, sand, wind, and no green, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. There's a lot of green out here, and especially after the rains. Look at these ocotillos. This is like the king of plants for going dormant. These things literally look like they're totally dead so much of the time. And then once the rains come, here's another one over here. Once the rains come, within a day or two, these leaves will appear. And then they get these pretty red flowers. This one's already starting to get some flowers on it. They get these bunches of red flowers. These ones haven't opened up yet, but in a couple more days, that'll be just all these red flowers on the ends of the sticks. Really, really cool. All right, let's look at where we're going to get this tree planted. Now I got a hole, looks like a crater from the moon here. This is of course where that fiddle fig is going to go. And I'm gonna have to do a lot of work filling this back in. I'm going to place the fiddle fig where the sprinkler ends. That way I don't have to do anything with the sprinkler. It's already there and ready to go. And I don't have to do anything. Down there, I'm going to have to put in a new sprinkler for that tree down there because there's no sprinkler right up to the tree. And that's a ficus. It needs a lot of water. I want to get a sprinkler head right into that tree well. But here's a fiddle fig sitting here. And that's got a little tiny, teeny pot on it. And that's gonna have to go in that big hole. Well, I wish it was that easy. I could just sit it in there and it'd be done. But as you can see, the hole is a little tiny bit bigger than the pot. So I got a lot of filling in to do, but filling in is way easier than digging out. So this won't be that difficult. So finally got my fiddle fig, my birthday present actually, all planted and good to go. And this came out of a pot, so I don't expect any problems with it. And I did some fertilizer and everything, so this should take off and do really good. So another project done. Now I've got to go clean a villa because our cleaners had an emergency and they can't make it. So our first guest of the entire season left, and we're gonna have to clean the villa, but that's okay. We do it every once in a while. So at least I'll be working in air conditioning. I won't be sweating out here in the sun. So I took down the shades today because it's starting to cool down at night. So we took down the shades, and that means that finally this dead tree can get out of here. So unfortunately, we planned this thing last spring. It didn't make it. We left it up because it's a post for our sunshades, but now that they're down, time for it to go. Now I'm gonna try first to just push it over with my hands. If I can do that, then we'll be good. Chop it up with a chainsaw and haul it out of here. If I can't, we'll have to try some other things, but let's see if we can just push this thing over. Let's see how rotten this tree really is. All right, doesn't look like it's going over just by hand. So I'm gonna try to throw a rope on it. See if I can get some leverage from the top of that and pull that thing down. Well, that didn't go as planned, but I'm glad I got those shades down because that didn't take very much just to rip the whole top of that tree off. Wow. All right, so this part of the tree is solid enough, not gonna be able to rip it down. Now, either I wanted to get this all the way out of the ground, but that's not critical because we're gonna plant another tree there and we're gonna do it with a backhoe. We're not gonna risk this time trying to plant a huge tree by hand because that's what's, basically signed this tree's death warrant was to take it and try to do it by hand, where we had to take so much of the dirt off and so much of the roots off to make it light enough that we could handle it without equipment. Next time we're not gonna make that mistake. We're going to move the next one with a backhoe. That means they're gonna have to come in here, dig this hole anyway, so they can dig that stump out when they dig the backhoe. Because of that, I'm just gonna come in here, chainsaw that thing off, and then we'll just leave the stump there for now. When we find another tree to plant in there, we'll have the backhoe dig that out. All right, I'm gonna go get the chainsaw. All right, there we go. Let's cut this stump up and then we'll be all done. Got it down in a more manageable size. Now we'll just throw it in the wheelbarrow, take it around, dump it with the rest of my palm tree trunks that I have. Thanks everybody for watching. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe and never forget to live before you die.